And so who wants to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, to have a shitty studio apartment with 4 other roommates? You know what I mean? Like, what is the life that you are working towards? So you're just living to be like a cog in the wheel and to keep working for what? Well, hello, Mo.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Fabu, how are you?
I'm okay. I am okay. I'm glad you're here.
Glad to be here. Why are you looking at me like that?
Make conversation. How do we make conversation? No, I don't know.
Franks and beans. Who you guys?
No, I guess we're just going to talk about our experiences the last couple days.
Oof. Well, for those of you who don't know, I came up to Portland for a BIPOC adoptee conference. Yay. And Emily is not too far, so we met up. Mm-hmm. And I was so excited. I've been to Portland before. I did the whole beer peddling thing
I've always wanted to do that.
Tried different foods and stuff. And I was walking around like it was really nice. Mm-hmm. And then...
Like the Real World, right? Didn't they have a Real World Portland?
I don't remember.
I think they did, and they did that peddling beer thing, and they had a cool like loft. Yeah, I gotta look that up. I think they did a Real World in Portland.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like Portland PDX, like Portlandia, it was cool. Yeah, Portlandia, right? Cool, progressive. I mean, I started to not think it was cool when what's his name? I forgot his name. The journalist from CNN. He did the way they displaced black people and went and took their houses here in Portland.
Anderson Cooper or something?
No, it's the black guy. I forgot his name.
Oh, they got fired.
Oh no, he's got like crazy hair.
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
Anyway, he went around the country, like the different towns and talking to people, and one of them was Portland, where they had this systemic erasure of black people.
Really?
Here. Yeah, they kicked a lot of black people out for development. And so I knew they were shady.
Where'd they go?
I mean, I think to the like suburbs and stuff or outskirts.
Because it's very white up here. Mm-hmm. That's something I've noticed since moving up here. Like there's not a lot of diversity coming from the Bay Area. And then where we were in the Bay Area, it wasn't that diverse either, but there was diversity in the Bay Area at large. But here in the Pacific Northwest, I know there are black people. I know there are other ethnicities here, but you'd be hard pressed to just find people. It's really weird.
I gotta say for Providence, wow, Portland really seemed mixed.
Really?
So I was shocked about that. Like I liked being able to go to places and see like at least a couple black people everywhere. So that was good.
Yeah. We were like downtown, like in the
downtown, but we also I also went northwest, northeast, and stuff. And
the quadrants. That's kind of weird. I never really thought.
So it was mixed for the most part, not like a lot. Like we went to a soul food restaurant and there were no black people there, but I see why after having the food. So
yeah, I mean we can talk about that. You want to talk about that place?
I'm not gonna say no name.
Why?
But
I mean it's a review. It's a adequate. We can review places.
Yeah, I went to a vegan soul food place and the food.
It took forever. First of all,
took a long time. I was right. Ooh, this food is finna slap.
Yeah.
It came out with some damn canned greens.
Yeah, it's the texture. Everything
some
was
soggy
came out of a
chicken.
can.
Fake cutlets. Seitan cutlets. They didn't even taste like seitan, just fried food.
I don't even know what my protein was. I got the ribs.
I think that was seitan too. The ribs were good because of the sauce.
The sauce was good, yeah.
That was it. And then the mac and cheese was disgusting. It was like they took salsa and something and put in. Yeah. Like it was like, I didn't taste what I mean? Like it was like pimento and like
right.
chilies and stuff. And
in the mac
and you could tell the texture didn't even look right. It just looked goopy. It was nasty.
Like maybe it was sitting out for a minute.
Yeah.
I feel like though, if your greens are coming from a can or it's been sitting out, your mac and cheese, why did it take almost 40 minutes to get the food
why did it take so long? Did you have to make the seitan? You can't say, did you have to kill the cow?
Right?
Like, come on.
The place was cute though. It was a cute little spot. That whole neighborhood was cute.
That neighborhood was super cute.
Yeah, it was really cute.
I could live there.
I feel like Portland is like that, though. There's a lot of neighborhoods, little pockets of cute shops and like little, streets you could stroll on with cute little houses and, little mom and pop type businesses and cuter neighborhood kind of feels. And then in between that is just garbage.
Yeah.
It's trash.
And just men walking alone looking crazy.
It's
That's
not
the scary.
I mean, I was talking the other day about meth mouth. Like, there's a lot of people, drugs are like for real. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of homeless people, a lot of people just walking around.
Camps.
And they all have that, like, they don't have teeth. So their jaws are short. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, you know what it looks like when someone, and they all have that look. And it's sad, but it's also like, well, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can walk around being all cute, but then you get one wrong turn and
block, yeah.
It's a whole bunch, like it's a group of people, like looks like the ending times. Like I couldn't believe it. I did not walk anywhere.
The tents and the little, I guess, communities of, homeless people kind of setting up camp or where they're going to be. I mean, it's everywhere.
How is that acceptable? Like, is this supposed to be the utopia? Like, I don't get it. Like, how is the government accepting that?
I don't know.
I don't know the laws. I haven't looked in to see what Portland has done, but it seems like it's a mecca for homelessness and people are just doing drugs on the street. A lot of carts, shopping carts.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot.
And it's like groups of people. I'm like, dang, even they find community. Like, how is it so hard to find community for me?
They do have communities. And then, I mean, I know the places that I have to drive through, like in my daily commutes and stuff. There's one place in particular where they have like an encampment and the police will come and like every so often get out of here and then they'll come back. I mean, it's just like a cyclical thing and I don't know what the solution is. I mean, there's a lot of people talking. I hear a lot of stuff about like, oh, I hate this. I wish somebody would do something about it. These people, da da da. And then who do you want to do something about it? Like they don't want the government to get involved and do anything. Yet should they be thrown in jail? Like what are we? What's the solution? Like what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, because it's a choice. So people don't want mental health help. People don't want help.
Well, I mean, maybe there's a mix. Maybe there's people who don't know what to do, don't know the resources, are really that down and out that they're not even aware of what's happening. I mean, I've seen people walking down the street with no pants on. Like you are not here if you're doing that. You know what I mean? Just all kinds of stuff. And then there's other people with families. I mean, I think it's a combination of just shitty circumstances. Like people are having a hard time right now, financially, and then housing prices going up, rent going up, jobs aren't doing what they're supposed to do.
Like people can't afford to live. It's hard, and people are like a lot of people are a paycheck away from being homeless. And in San Francisco, I know you can find people with 6 figures homeless. Yeah, people making 6 figures homeless
because the rent is crazy there.
Yeah,
I mean it's the West Coast, New York. Where it's just ridiculous how much it costs to get a little tiny closet.
Yep.
Yeah, people making 6 figures who can't afford to live.
Yep. Doing the shower thing and it's like you can move and be farther out, but then you have to have transportation. Those are extra costs and expenses that come with that. So I can't imagine. But I saw in Houston something that startled me was I saw a bunch of older women on the street homeless, just older, like in their 50s and 60s, maybe even 70s. Damn. Out on the street. Like what happened in your life that you don't have anyone to turn to? And you not to say that men deserve to be homeless, but I'm used to seeing all these homeless men, and there were some crazy homeless men there. One was screaming and I don't know what he was doing.
Run-ins. I know you have.
Had a broom.
Oh my goodness.
And then another one, we took a picture. Another one was trying to get my friend's food. He was like I don't know if he was trying to hit on her or get her food.
Oh my God.
But it's just like there's no boundary, and I think that's why it's a little different. People aren't minding their business anymore. I talked to someone from Portland who said she's had stuff thrown at her car, windshield broken. She had stuff thrown at her while she's walking with her kids. So it's like that's scary. Your family is like involved too, and you don't know what to expect. You can just be having a lovely day, and someone is just nuts and gonna come and just throw something at you.
So why aren't I guess the conversation is about policing. Because if that type of activity is going on, then why aren't the police?
Because they don't want it. Aren't they the defund the police people here? Police.
I don't know. Because I remember they had the riots were really bad up here. I mean, a lot of the stuff when we were driving around is still boarded up.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's 2020, almost 2024.
Yeah, it's been what, 3 years at least since all those riots. And I know that Portland was like a major center for that. I mean, Portland is where they had those vans, those unmarked vans pulling up and just throwing people in the vans. You remember?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the military or who it was that was rounding up rioters and stuff because they were attacking all the federal buildings and starting fires and looting. And they were just grabbing people and throwing them in like minivans.
Oh, wow.
And then driving them away. I remember seeing that. But, I mean, I think there's a debate, you know, it turns into politics somehow. But there's a debate on both sides about who's responsible. And I know that there's criticism saying that, like, you know, these liberal cities, they don't let the police do their job.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, I don't know what the policies are here.
Same.
As far as that goes. And
I was not expecting that, especially having been here before. It's bad, y'all.
It's deteriorated a lot.
It's bad. Like, who was running this city? Who was the
I don't know.
mayor?
I don't know. But living here for a little over a year, I haven't had cause to go into certain places in Portland. Like, I go to the airport or I go to, you know, like here or there, but I've driven around more, I think, in the last couple days, to areas I've never been to. And I'm just shocked. But it does look a lot like San Francisco to me. It looks a lot like San Francisco. The amount of homelessness.
And it's not concentrated. I think that's what startled me. It's like you can't be like, oh, okay, we're out of that area.
No.
Won't see it again. Then you might go through a little few blocks of a cute area. Then it's like some people hanging out. Like, what are y'all doing? I don't know what's the hanging out part. Like, it's not like the loitering of it all. Like, you got these carts and stuff. Yeah. Like, what are y'all doing? Where are they supposed to go? I don't know. Then the camps, there were also camps out there. Like, I feel like these Karens, if you like trying to sell lemonade, they get mad, but they let you have a whole camp.
Well,
like
the Karens ain't over here.
Oh, okay.
They're not over here.
There you go.
It's fine as long as it's not in their neighborhood.
Yeah, that's true.
That is. Yeah, but nothing's worse than Oakland, as far as I'm concerned. Like, the things I saw in Oakland were really bad. I mean, pregnant women out in the street, like cars, people just broke down cars everywhere, living in the cars.
It was bad down by Jack London Square the last time I went.
I don't know where that is.
It's downtown or something. Yeah, by the water.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oof.
I'm picturing it. Yeah. I mean, I think it's everywhere. I mean, you were saying that we were talking about Philly.
Yeah, Philly's bad.
With Portland, talking about Portland, San Francisco was bad. Oakland was bad.
Houston,
you said. I'm sure LA's got its issues.
Oh, LA's been bad. It was bad 20 years ago.
So, I mean, I don't know what the solution is. It's sad. It can't continue this way.
But can it? Like I said, 20 years ago, LA, so nothing changed. It's gotten worse.
Well, it's spread out to other parts now. Like, it's all over. I'm sure if you go into middle America, there's towns that are, and I think a lot of it, I really do think drugs plays a really large piece to this. Because
Houston is a big pharma town. Portland apparently is a big pharma town. I didn't know. And Philly is a big pharma town.
So when you say that, what does that mean?
So they have healthcare. Like, a lot of the money comes from healthcare. They have a lot of healthcare sales, like big pharmaceutical company sales.
So people get hooked.
A lot of hospitals. Philly has a bunch of medical schools. So does Houston has the MD Anderson Cancer Center and all these facilities, medical facilities. So all of these different things are pharma. I feel like somehow they're related. Like, I don't know if they're this is my conspiracy theory. So
put on the foil hat.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if they're testing out on people or what. But why are all these big pharma towns having so many zombies and just like people? I mean, New York is big with everything, finance and everything. So I saw zombies there.
You can't take New York into consideration because they're like a unique situation where there's a big concentration of everything. Everything's going on there.
But it was so weird. This woman, I remember passing her, and she was just a purse wide open and eyes vacant. Oh, no. And it's just like, wow. How messed up is the world that people to how messed up is the world that people have to go and like just
disappear.
Dope themselves up and disappear, and nobody's looking for them. Or sometimes they are. I took an Uber one time in Philly. Goodness. So Kensington, that's zombie land that everybody said. That's where people do the horse tranquilizers that put holes in their body and everything.
They put holes in
they lose skin, flesh.
No.
Yeah,
Lord.
You can see their bones. No. It's bad. Look it up.
No, thank you. I Googled meth mouth last night and I'm done.
Oh yeah, I refuse to see that. Yeah. So you have all of these people, and I remember one of my Uber drivers saying that he had a dad come in and say, he doesn't know where his daughter is. Just take him to Kensington, and he was just going to look around for his daughter.
Oh my gosh!
And these people are like, so part of me thinks they're exploiting people when you look at YouTube and they're interviewing people. But then also it's interesting. Like one guy, he got hundreds of thousands of dollars when his mom died and blew it. Like he just blew it and did drugs and stuff. And
see, I think all that stuff, the only time mental health really gets brought into like the larger conversation is with guns. Mm-hmm. And I think that drugs, I think that is a mental health issue. Because I think unless you're busting your back, getting some oxy, whatever the heck it's called, and getting hooked that way, you are seeking out a way to like alcohol's not doing it anymore, or I don't know what else people do, weed or I don't know what cigarettes
cocaine.
Do, whatever. I'm surprised about
heroin.
That. We've talked about that before. I'm like, I'm surprised how many people do coke.
How is it so acceptable too?
I always
because that's a wealthy
like
drug
kind of thing. Like I never, but I mean, and like meth, I always thought, you watch Breaking Bad, you think it's like all these like, I don't know how to describe these people, but they're not like everyday people. They're people who are kind
unsophisticated, down and out.
But it's not. Mm-mm. Because I think I read or I heard somewhere on TikTok or some kind of tabloid stuff. This is not confirmed. I'm not trying to spread whatever. Mm-hmm. But like Justin Bieber has done meth.
Supposedly. Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, but I'm just like, just sitting like that's not the vibe image, I was given. When you think of meth, you think of like Breaking Bad people doing meth, whatever, digging in their front yard and grinding their teeth and doing all that kind of crazy stuff. But it's crazy, and I think it is a lot of mental health escapism. Life is shit. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be here, but I don't have the ability to not be here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I'm going to do the best I can
until they die.
Right. It's I don't know. But if it's going to be every major city and then everywhere in between, and you're saying they're going, I don't know who's the first person to try to take horse tranquilizer. I mean, that's crazy to me. Like you're chasing the next big thing. And your cities are looking like, you were talking about Portland being beautiful and like, traveling here, visiting, and it was nice. And here we are 20 years later or whatever it is.
This is only like 7 years later. So
that's so sad. Well, a lot happened in them 7 years. So I think we're looking at another lasting effect of COVID times and the things that happened during COVID. Because I don't think that we would have had those riots had everybody not been glued to their TVs to see the George Floyd situation and all the BLM stuff. So I feel like that's just another side effect of COVID and how maybe it could have been handled a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because, we're still not even that far removed from it to know how it's affecting the kids, how it's affecting, healthcare at large, mental health.
I've been seeing a lot of people masked up, too. Like,
out here,
is it
they
getting
stay
bad?
Masked up over here in Portland. I was surprised about that when we first moved out here. Some places
y'all
still
having a
said
surge?
Must wear masks. I think we are. It'll go through the schools. It'll go through, and they'll let you know. You'll get an alert if it's like heightened. But every time you turn around, there's like a new strain and Omicron this and a blah, 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 blah. So, I don't keep up on it probably as much as I used to. But it's rough out there in some of these places.
And one thing I forgot to mention, we were talking about midlife crises, and one of the things is with men, and I don't know what the statistics are, is that we didn't talk about, and probably women too, but more so with men, the self-deletions. And I think this is an example of it, just in a different way. It's a longer version until people just drop dead. Like, can you imagine having a pain so bad that you will have holes in your leg, your flesh hanging out in your leg and not care?
I can't even think about that.
Because you need that fix.
Well, this is obviously not as extreme. Could be. But we talked about alcohol. Mm-hmm. And the more we talk about it, we had an episode about, choosing sobriety and just the effects that it has on your body. And to know those, I guess we're all playing a game. Mm-hmm. We're all trying to, weigh the pros and cons. Hey, I know this is not good for my liver. This is not good
food,
for this. It's a carcinogen. It's a blah, 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 blah. But it makes me feel good and I can escape for a little bit. So we're playing that game. And so I think some people, maybe their scale is a little off.
Yeah, gotta be.
The trade-off is I don't know. But it's sad because a lot of cities are... I haven't been up to Seattle in a while, like to drive around and actually see. It's been a while. So I don't know what's going on up there. I'm sure they've got similar stuff going on there. I could only imagine.
Yeah, it was okay when I went in, like maybe 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay.
Mm-hmm. I've been more recently than that,
Mm-hmm.
but and I was up there like a couple months ago actually. But I just went to the Space Needle. I didn't really walk around, but there were homeless people just kind of hanging out, and I take that as any city would have that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's lots of businesses that are boarded up, things like that. Still.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like the liveliness is gone.
Yeah.
Like people, the vibrancy, like people running around, getting dinner, going to a show. I didn't really see a lot of people. I wouldn't want to walk.
You can't
either.
live.
I don't want to walk around people doo-dooing on the street.
Yeah,
like,
or stepping over it like it was
yeah,
that
human
dog
doo
stuff. Is that
and men
human
using
stuff?
the bathroom
Yeah.
and
Well,
people just laid out on the side, like not on the side of the sidewalk. Like, let me just lay. You have to walk over me. Like, I'm not walking over people.
it was like that in 10 years ago in DC. When we lived in DC, it was like that.
They got tents up too. I saw tents up in
really?
DC.
When we were there, there were homeless people. We lived right
This year.
in DC. You would have to walk around, and it was people would leave coffee out. They put coffee down next to the because it gets cold, and they're just people laid out, and it was weird because you got to know who they were. You'd say
You say good morning. Oh,
yeah, and like you see them every day, or a couple times I'd make sandwiches if I could or whatever. But it's gotten to a point where it's too many. It's too many.
Aren't we? What was the latest report? We're the poorest we've ever been. People are the poorest they've ever been in history. This is the biggest poverty rate in history, the lowest
In the U.S.?
in the U.S., the highest, I mean. So we have the most people in poverty ever.
But then you hear people talking about employment's up. But is it because people stop looking? People stop looking for jobs, so they're not factored into the equation?
They're not looking for unemployment. Yeah, they said I tried to look that up to see how they calculate that, and that seems shady too.
Yeah.
It seemed like
skew it any way you
yeah,
want.
exactly. So
because you can just look. I mean, the topic we're talking about, you can just go out into the streets and see that something's not right.
37.9 million people. Oh, that was 2022.
Are homeless?
In poverty.
Oh, jeez.
But see, I don't trust because also a lot of people
I don't
do
trust
stuff under
anybody.
the table. Because it's like, how are y'all poor, but you got the latest shoes or something?
Yeah, phone got a nicer iPhone than I got.
Yeah, so I feel like there's some stuff going on. People work a lot under the table, I think, when they're in the poverty levels.
Yeah.
So I don't think they count
Because
that.
otherwise, how? If the
Yeah.
government's taking a huge portion or a cut off everything,
Yep.
how else do you? Oof.
Record jump. It rose to 12.4%.
We're sounding real Republican right now.
Oh well, I don't know what I am. I've never had a party, so don't try to put me with anybody.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody taking me for granted.
I don't know if it's even it has to be a political thing. I just want people to be taken care of.
I don't think that's Republican.
Whether it's no, I definitely don't think that's Republican. But I just something is wrong. So.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned that because when I'm looking, besides Houston, I want to say when you're in a Republican area, it's clean. You don't see a lot of homeless people. So are they taking care of the homeless people?
No, they're shoving them back over to getting them out. I mean, they're getting them out. They're taking care of their area. They're not taking care of the problem.
Okay.
And I think that's part of the problem is, we're going to make sure our area is okay, but like as a collective, what are we doing? But I think that Democrats probably could take some, but then what would you do if what you're doing is rounding them up and moving them?
That's what they were doing. Remember they were giving people bus tickets and stuff back in the day?
So then you're just moving them to another area. And then what?
Well, I know they're trying to make conclaves or something. They're trying to make enclaves.
Oh.
They're trying to make like housing, like communities or something.
When I was in school, there were some clinics, and you could work and you could help them find vouchers. They could get hotel vouchers for like 2-night stay, food vouchers. There's a lot of programs.
People don't take them.
Yeah, or just how do you get the word out to people?
The word was out in New York. They had housing, free housing,
Dang.
and people didn't take it.
That's got to be a mental, like who doesn't want to have a roof over their head at least for a night or two, a shower. It's and maybe I'm coming from a place of privilege in the sense that maybe that's not what's important to them. Fuck a room and a shower, like.
It's a freedom.
I need antibiotics, or I need, rehab, or I need prenatal care. Like there's probably they're like, okay, yeah, you can put me up for 2 nights. What about the next few nights? What about so it seems like a Band-Aid, and it seems like it may be something, hey, I feel good because I gave you this voucher so you can go take a shower and have a nice sleep. But that, in the grand scheme of things, what did that do for them?
That's temporary.
So it's temporary.
Like that's why I feel bad, because I want to volunteer and help, but I want to do it where I feel like I'm helping and giving people socks. I know that's a short term Band-Aid, but I want to help them in different ways. But they gotta want to be helped.
Yeah.
And then two, I have to find how can I help? I don't even know. Like I feel like I could help with like maybe job searching, or help people with their resumes or something like that.
Well, we talked about that too, and you said it was a choice, and I wasn't understanding what you meant by that. But then we talked about how the structure of things now and the pay is not matching the pace at which like real estate and rent is going, and groceries. I mean, remember eggs were like so expensive, whatever. I don't know. But just it's not matching. It's being outpaced. And so who wants to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, to have a shitty studio apartment with 4 other roommates? You know what I mean? Like, what is the life that you are working towards? So you're just living to be like a cog in the wheel and to keep working for what? So
and they even made that illegal. Like you can't. I know in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, 4 people can't live together if they're not related.
Damn. Well, that was my college experience.
Yeah.
4 of us in a wow.
They try to make it so you have to rent more and like discriminate against single people because it's cheaper. It's going to be cheaper if you get a bunch of people.
What do you got, 4 girlfriends just hanging out? Like we're just going to stay together then? I mean,
or is it over 4? It could be over 4, but if 4 is the max, if it is,
wow,
you can only have.
Is it like per square footage or something?
Per unit, so per dwelling, like you can't.
Even if you have like a whole townhouse.
Yep, a townhouse. You can only have 4 unrelated people.
Wow. Well. So yeah.
Yeah, prohibits owners from leasing. Oh, see, it is more than 3. You're not allowed to lease to more than 3 people in a single family home. That's a whole home.
Wow.
That's prejudice.
But how could you?
4 people, like we pool our money together. Let's make life easier for ourselves. No, that's illegal.
Because we always talk about that. We always talk about how that would be. Just to. We've heard news stories where like single moms come together and raise their kids together, or you have just girlfriends. I mean, but that's crazy.
So little things like that too that are in place to keep people homeless.
Wow.
And then if you do it, you got to live with that stress of you could get caught any moment and then you're homeless again.
Mindset,
get in trouble. Who wants to live like that?
I didn't see. I feel like I knew that there were some regulations like that, but I didn't think of it in the context of homelessness and just what people are dealing with. I mean, that sucks. I mean, it just really, I don't know the words. It just sucks because there's codes and things like that are keeping people from finding a way to thrive or to at least survive.
And why is that? Like, what's the outcome that's going to be so horrible if everybody had a chance to thrive and survive?
Well, because the idea is people want to make the most money they can. They don't care what you have to do to get that money. They just want the money. So if you want to live here, well, you can't live with your friends, but maybe your friends can get the place next door. So I've rented 2 units.
Yep.
So, like,
money.
And to have that many people in poverty and not, I mean, I don't know.
You have to apply for a variance. Wow.
I don't have any solutions. I mean, we're just sitting here talking. But
I don't have any solutions. I don't like Portland.
Okay.
Vegan food is good. Okay. Vegan, not the best vegan food I've had, but it's good.
And I feel like that's something I think Portland should have. It's the culture that you think of when you think of Portland is kind of like alternative dress, music.
Portlandia.
Yeah, basically. But it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I would think it would have like a Brooklyn-y kind of vibes, like Oakland-y, Brooklyn-y. I guess it does, or Birkenstock vibes and stuff, but
yeah,
the energy.
It's not looking right.
Yeah, it's not looking right. It's just the feel and the energy is off.
That's sad. Because it could be a cool place. I mean, or maybe it was a cool place. I don't know how you bring a city back to life. I'm sure it's been done before, but
yeah. Also age, because like where I was staying downtown, stuff looked boarded up, but then at night when I was coming back home, I saw that they were clubs or something, so people were standing out trying to get in. Young people, like I don't.
Well, we were talking about that too, though. Is it must not be too bad if there are single women everywhere, just kind of
walking around, just walking like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't care. They're just like a chance they take. Because I always see in the news Philly somebody getting bopped or something.
Really? That's why I don't watch the news.
Or I'm in groups, Facebook groups, and people be like, I was walking down the street and somebody stole my phone.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, I just try not to think about that stuff because you got to live life. And
yeah.
You know, if you want to bring out the rage, bring it out.
Oh, bring him out. Bring him out.
Bring it out. Bring him out. You want that rage?
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so welcome to Portland.
Thank you. In Portland, do better on the vegan food, please. I'm just kidding.
Ridiculous.
Aw.